Fast forward, any come out on so aha age politics avenue. Unia podcast or training because make headlines. Any jembre na yedi bi exum awaha. Any dim niya braximu. Best of say young political highways in jedema enye asem kotu akra. Na ningina any say lawyer appear Kubi our ye counselor Emma a year chairman Wontumis ene wabina no akasa na onia wadi yawa enya asem kotu akra na watintes koko ene di egu eye Attorney General so na nsema okanyina ne say upon accoutrement o mine di ama onyina Wontumi emfa nya adwuma afei de uwa pochi eye witnesses CCA watimi adadan Wontumis general manager Emma Obabidi adanse edi amount papa no eni abre no wakase eni bre so pa at this point in time yemu running sim na yehwe ne yeko eni de ba age politics ab that is why jemre e was
Central Regional Chair Ǎnǧrily, also known as Chairman Wontumis, are disappointed that the Attorney General dropped the charges against the General Manager of Akuffo Mining after he offered to testify against their client. That's Chairman Wontumis, Edward Akuffo, now the former fourth accused person, and Wontumis were facing multiple illegal mining charges until the Attorney General withdrew the charges against him. And the Kubi is lawyer for Chairman Wontumis. He spoke to my colleague and our legal affairs correspondent, Lord Edwasari, together with some other journalists earlier today in court on their position. Take a look.
Attorney General, with all the materials available to him, all the resources available to him, including him being human personnel, if it is just for him to only rely on a former accused person to prosecute a matter against one of the accused persons or some of the accused persons. And he thinks that justice may not be undermined. That is his decision. The way that the Attorney General appears to be poaching his own accused persons suggests that there is intent to undermine the course of justice. We will resist your princess.
That's Ǎnɖrily Kubi there. He's joining us right now on Zoom, but the Zoom connection not too clear. So Ǎnɖrily Kubi is lawyer or lead counsel for Chairman Wontumis. Good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. So I hear you speak, but what exactly has the Attorney General done wrong in deciding to drop the charges against this fourth accused, the general manager of your client's company, because he has agreed to now serve as prosecution witness? What has the Attorney General done wrong exactly?
Well, Attorney General, being the Minister of Justice, has a mandate to ensure fair trial at all times. And the Attorney General himself poaching his own accused person to be his witness means that there is some motivation in encouraging the accused person to rather turn a witness. If that is the case, then where is the guarantee that his evidence will be credible? Because he is motivated by something, either by threats or by security of absence of prosecution or pecuniary consideration. Either way, it is an abuse of the system and the possibility of the witness also bringing out falsehood in his attempt to fulfill the expectations of the Attorney General. These are the concerns we are raising. And in any case, what will be the weight of that evidence when we have punctured his lines of integrity?
I mean, but why do you call this development an abuse of the system and the Attorney General poaching witnesses? I mean, is it to say that the fourth accused, the general manager of Akuffo Mining, did not voluntarily agree to be prosecution witness? Was he coerced to do so?
I am privy to the conversation between the Attorney General and he's a fourth accused person. And it was a back and forth situation with other people also even being engaged to influence him into taking that position. And again, the threat of him going to jail was always laid at him, that if he didn't join the Attorney General as a prosecution witness, he was going to go to jail. That was the threat that was being given to him. And obviously, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to mount a defense, for which reason he might be convicted and sent to jail. And for that reason, he wants to avoid that and then do the Attorney General's bidding. But it's a very dangerous precedent because it's an open invitation to accused persons who would have collaborated or abetted or been involved in crime to always run to Attorney General and seek to be his witness whilst giving out evidence that may not necessarily be wholesome.
I see, but well, we're not privy to the said conversation that you say you are privy to between the Attorney General and the fourth accused now, who is not agreed to be prosecution witness. But even beyond that, is the Attorney General not allowed to employ all legally allowable strategies to, as it were, get to confirm and to prove beyond reasonable doubt the accusations against your client, and that including getting some accused persons to be prosecution witnesses? Is that not legally allowed? What has he done wrong? I mean, because I read Act 30, and that's quite clear, is it not?
It is true that under the Act 30, there is that dispensation available to the Attorney General. But again, we have also superior case law that suggests that the evidence of such a witness is not binding on other accused persons. There's also case law to suggest that. So when we get to that position, we'll prefer all such case law in protest against the use of the accused person, and also make the courts also aware of the value of any such evidence.
See. Well, wait for that and see how the coming days will look like on this matter, and what do you...
I'll ask you this. Hopefully the line is better before I come to the panel. Ms. Aveji. Okay, Ms. Aveji, if you could kindly reconnect for us before I come to you. Of course, I'll get to the preliminary thoughts of the panel as well. But let me actually bring you an idea of this, what I'm talking about, the infractions as we've seen in the Auditor General's report, as well as even the recent revelations from the Attorney General, which are currently ongoing. So in terms of infractions or what's have been reported by the Auditor General, in 2021 alone, the country lost over 17 million Ghana cedis, almost 17.5 billion Ghana cedis, because of irregularities and all of that. Now you go to 2022 and it was 15 billion, so it dropped a little bit. 2023 dropped again to 8 billion, almost 9 billion actually, 8.799. And then in 2024, an election year where we've had the current Attorney General also making a lot of revelations, it shot up from the 17 billion figure in 2021 to 18.415. That's almost 18.5 billion Ghana cedis. These are monies that the state lost, revealed in the Auditor General's report. Now, Attorney General, I did tell you that Attorney General has also been making some revelations since February this year. And the one he described as the jungle, I mean, he used his expression there, that has to do with the buffer stock scandal involving the former CEO Hanan Abdul Wahab, his wife, and 2 other institutions. Some 95.763 million Ghana cedis, billion Ghana cedis lost to the state. Also, National Service Authority, ghost names, payroll fraud, 2.2 billion Ghana cedis, and also Office of the Special Prosecutor revealing some wrongful salary payment, identified some 2.854 billion Ghana cedis lost to the state. And also, these are related to identified, projected, some projects as well. Yes, so projected losses. And then you have the National Petroleum Authority extortion and money laundering case, currently ongoing as well. 280 million Ghana cedis alleged to have been lost to the states through some alleged scheme, and with some 24 million Ghana cedis allegedly directed to the former CEO. So that's just a tip of the iceberg, really, as regards what the country has lost so far. And like I did tell you, it's been going on for years. I want to come to you, Mr. Kabuto Kanse, before I go back to Mr. Cletus James Aveji. You heard, of course, the bit of what he said before his line went off there. And the details I have just revealed in both the Auditor General's report as well as what the Attorney General has revealed to us. Beyond what Mr. Aveji told us, that institutions intentionally decide to go without the internal audit unit, where do you see the problem coming from?
I think let me first of all greet your viewers and then greet my fellow panelists, both in studio and virtually. I would want to be concerned about institutions not adhering to cautions from their internal auditors, but I don't go with it. Let's stop joking. With all due respect, let's get serious. You see, these things are ongoing because we are not angry enough. We're not angry enough. With all due respect to the Public Accounts Committee, what have we seen them do? Over the years, people go there, they answer questions. Some out of anger from this week, what I've seen, some laugh. When they are asked serious questions about millions of Ghana cedis, they laugh. What are you laughing about? At a point in this country, we lost 13 people because we could not fix dialysis machine. What wrong did they do? And then you come and sit down and look at the figures you are mentioning. We go to IMF and borrow how much? 3 billion. And did you see the back and forth? The team will come here, they'll go back, we'll meet with them, propose ways that we are going to raise revenue, and look at the amount you are mentioning in just a year. So if you accumulated from that 17 billion you mentioned early on, plus this 18 billion, if you did about just a multiple of 3, you are arriving about close to about $5 billion, okay? And you went to IMF to go and beg for money. When you were throwing, let me quickly go to a fact that we all should know. These are the figures that they brought to us. And in every institution, nothing can be sacrosanct. This is the Ghana.
So you mean there could be more beyond what has been reported? This is the Ghana
that people could not go to work because their wife was sick. This is the Ghana that people didn't have cars to go to the hard-to-reach areas. This is the same Ghana that people are familiar with others. It is a cartel game. When one is arrested, you get to see that the secretary was in there, the others, you see? So this is that Ghana we are talking about. So this figure you are seeing is the ones that we are lucky to have. And this is how bad the figures are. In just 1 year, you sit down and you have lost 8.4 billion Ghana cedis. And you see, let me break it down well so that we can all think about it this evening. This means that 8.4 billion means that when you take the cost of one school building, that is 1.6 or something for a 6-classroom block. So,
million or billion?
A million. So I'm saying divide this figure by 1.6, or let me just be kind, make it 2 million cedis for a 6-classroom block. So it means in just a year, we could have built all the basic schools we needed in this country. In just 1 year. if we were angry enough and we were very serious with this country. Look, Kwame Nkrumah said many years ago, this country is not a poor country. We are, and I added my voice to say, this country is not a poor country. We are only but a poorly managed country. And these are the figures you are seeing. These are the figures. In just 1 year, my sister, 12 months, you have lost 18.4 billion. And the funny thing is that it is somebody's job to sit down and head count. Oh, we have 8 workers. We have 10 workers. They are at post. And somebody sits down, and then at the end of the day, you talk about ghost names. That is where I get angry. Meanwhile, at the face of this, another person is going to the Controller General's department from a region, maybe from the north, come to validate. The one who is alive has to come and validate. The one who is dead is still being paid. And at the Public Accounts Committee, somebody died and was still being paid. And I'm asking, in fact, one of the panel members asked whether the staff attended the funeral of the person. And after that, my next question is that, did they pay any emolument to the family? So how is that document still there? You have paid emolument to the family, and then again, you still keep paying the person for months.
So you certainly do not buy the submission from Ms. Aveji that
you know what?
They have decided not to use internal audit service. Who then should be doing the calculations and balancing the books?
Some of the technologies we are using. What did you say? Irregularities? When the boy steals a phone at circle, he's a thief. When these people steal, we call them what? Financial irregularities, misapplication, misappropriation. These are thieves. They stole from the state. Figures show. Somebody sat down, deliberately robbed the state. And then we start, because we are in suits and we attended Legon and UCC, then we start polishing. We start polishing. It's misappropriation, misapplication. What? It is thievery. So when we get angry and start pointing to who, look, you see, it doesn't even end with them. Now, today, let me share it to all of us. Those of us who are even also watching on. You see, if, God forbid, I slapped you, and he stood here and watched me slap you, he's also supporting the act by watching on for me to take that act. The auditors, the internal auditors, they must be surcharged. In this whole discussion, if 3 or 4 of them were surcharged, we should have gotten somewhere.
So that's honestly, what you mean by we are not angry enough?
We are not angry enough. The system you hear at the Public Accounts Committee, go and ask them, in the last 5 years, how many of the amounts that were stolen from us have been recouped? Let
me come to you, Major. You are the NSS, and I just mentioned the figures there related to the National Service Authority. Giftio Owari-Mensah, for instance, Deputy Executive Director, has already been charged, alleged to have stolen some 38 million Ghana cedis, and her director as well. If you can tell us, really, beyond what the Attorney General told us in the press conferences, what kind of structures were in place that enabled these alleged creation of ghost names, this alleged creation of ghost names, and the eventual monies that were siphoned?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. The system that was in place, I wouldn't be able, but it means that that system failed us. Because if the system did not fail us, how did we get ghost names into the system that people were able to siphon millions of cedis, which is of the taxpayers' money? So it means that basically or fundamentally, the system failed us. In this situation, like you mentioned earlier, the Attorney General is handling this matter, and for that matter, we have also put in place certain structures to make sure that this kind of thing do not happen again.
Okay, you just said that you were not there when it happened, but looking at the data that has been given you, could it have been avoided?
Possibly. It could also be intentional. Because it baffles my mind that you have a system that only 100,000 registered, or this a list, all the lists across the country, maybe 100,000 was uploaded, and then you are validating and it is over 100,000. What are you supposed to do?
You're saying
supposed to flag it.
It could have been intentional. So you're saying that people intentionally stole money. That's what you are directly saying.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because Like I said, if you have 100,000 list that has been uploaded into the system, now you have validated over 100,000 and you are paying. What are you paying for? The difference between maybe 120 and 100,000. Why are you paying the difference of the 20,000? It means that you know something about it. Otherwise, you won't be paying for it.
Now, you're saying that the National Service Authority is currently putting in structures.
Yes.
If you can tell us what you're doing, because sometimes what we hear people say is, oh, this administration did that, that administration did that. And then there is this painting black, as it were, of previous administrations, and we don't seem to get the results that we need, which is why we're where we are. If you can tell us what you're doing, which you believe will prevent another creation of ghost names, so that in the next few years, we don't come back talking about the same problem.
Very well, thank you. You realize that after the audit, the president instructed, it was deliberate and intentional, that that system should be shut and a new system generated. It means that that system that was previously used did not do any good to us. This current system, there are a lot of checks that we have put in place to ensure.
We ANSM ahodo timi course watch na so mamna so jemre e wo harasene se obade ndia dumbi edumia. Ibesen ehiem ne yasoma kwanso so kra. Aha, age politics.